So we're here today with Amy Fox. Amy is one of the co-owners of Spiral Brewery here in downtown Hastings. Amy, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Now, I mentioned co-owner. How many owners are there of Spiral?
So there are 5 owners of Spiral. So it is me and my husband, Nick, my sister-in-law, Jen Fox, and then our head brewer and his wife, Luke and Claire. Really, truly, it started as a conversation between Nick and Jen and I. We were drinking craft beer at by the pool in a summer, and we were talking about just our love for beer and our love for our hometown, because it truly started. I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, it started with like, we love craft beer, we love Hastings. Like, how can we put these things together to make something? And so that's how it started. And for the first almost year, I think that was back probably in 2012, 2013. So a while ago. It started as kind of like, oh, wouldn't that be fun? Like, everyone has those conversations, like, wouldn't it be fun to do this or that? And then finally we were like, okay, are we serious about this? Let's do this. So we did a lot of research, a ton of research. Just, like online research, talking. I think Nick single-handedly interviewed in various forms of interview, probably like 40 breweries across the state. We also actually utilized the City of Hastings Open for Business program too. They have a business consultant that you can use. We worked with her to help us get a business plan going and get some templates and figure out some of those more logistics side first steps. So, long story short, through I guess like 2-3 years of research and planning and fundraising, because opening up a brewery is really expensive, and fundraising and construction and everything, we were able to open up Spiral in the April of 2018.
So it's been open just shy of 3 years.
Right.
And I remember seeing on Facebook, I believe you put some construction pictures on there, and just kind of the before and after of your facility there. What was in your building before Spiral was there?
Right before Spiral Brewery, like immediately before, was Rachel Marthaler Photography.
Okay.
And then, but the bulk of the time that at least people nowadays would remember, it was a portion of Meyer Company.
What has the reaction from the community been?
Gosh, I can't even speak to how much our community has been able to support us throughout these last almost 3 years, or even leading up to it. There was a lot of hype in the build up too, because it took a little while for us to get open, but our community has really embraced us and supported us so much throughout all of this. And it did take a little bit of education too, because I think everyone was really excited to have something new and different downtown and in Hastings in general, but weren't really sure what a brewery was or what tap room was or what that culture was and what it brought. So I think they were excited from the get-go, and then grew more excited as they kind of learned what a brewery is and what we do and what it means. We're not just another bar. We're not a restaurant. It's kind of a different place. So learning that. And then I think, they've really supported us throughout this whole thing.
People want to know the difference between, I know we talked a while ago about the difference between a brewery and a brew pub.
Sure.
Being able to offer food that you actually make on the premises versus what you do, where people can bring in a pizza or bring in a cheeseburger from next door.
It primarily has to do with Minnesota liquor laws being crazy. They're pretty strict. Honestly, that Minnesota's liquor laws are one of the strictest in the country.
Really?
Yeah, so they make a distinction between a brew pub and a production brewery. So we are a production and distribution brewery. We manufacture beer on premise, and then we can serve it on premise as well as distribute to off sale to bars, restaurants, liquor stores.
Okay.
So that is how we are labeled or licensed. Because of that, we do not make any food on site. We also don't want to make any food on site. We're not food people. We're
Yeah.
really about the beer. But a brew pub on the reverse, they make food on site and serve it on site, and they make beer on site and serve it on site, but they're not allowed to sell off sale. So to bars,
Oh, okay.
liquor stores, restaurants. So it kind of makes that distinction in the distribution and wholesale side.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see like a Granite City can in a liquor store because they're a brew pub.
What distribution do you have outside of your tap room there, like the number of stores, and maybe just like a guesstimate as far as the number of stores you're in, bars, things
Sure.
like that?
Our distribution has grown dramatically since we opened, partially due to Jen and our sales team, but also we started canning our beer about a year into us being open, which really opened a lot of doors to being in liquor stores and other places. So we weren't just selling kegs. So now we sell both kegs and cans of our beer. Really, truly across the metro, we have over 200 distribution accounts.
Wow.
Currently, which I think is something our community doesn't really understand because they see us really as our tap room.
Yeah.
So people come and drink beer here. But we've really been working to grow our distribution side. So you can find Spiral beer from far west metro, like into Wisconsin, actually.
Cool.
And then as far north as Andover and down all the way to Red Wing and Owatonna. So it's really all over the place. Actually, we have a map on our website that we keep updated with all of our accounts. So if you're ever like, I wonder where I can pick up Spiral, you can check that out.
You can taste a part of Hastings wherever you are in the metro area,
right,
pretty much.
Right.
Cool.
Well, and it's truly important for our business too, because as much as the community supports us and holds us up here in town, and even a little outside of town, we really need our name and our brand to get out there for us to continue to grow. So that's important to capturing those people, because hopefully they maybe see a can at the liquor store and like it, and then want to come down to the tap room and try a beer here whenever it is we're open again. And then, potentially they'll see, wow, what a cute downtown, what a great city, and want to come back.
Exactly. Well, and that's all part of, and I'm so glad, it sounds like the city was very supportive with its Open for Business program. You have obviously a lot of support from not only friends, but community members, people that know about you and people that are spreading the word, to their friends that say, hey, come on down to Hastings. It has this great tap room. It has this great brewery in Hastings. And, oh, by the way, we also have these great shops. We have these great restaurants, and that's all.
A beautiful riverfront to walk down.
When you first started out, Amy, your distribution, you didn't have cans. So you have these growlers. And I've heard about this kind of in the legislature. There's been a lot of debate about growlers. And so maybe explain how that evolved from 2018, where you had the tap room was open, the brewery's open, you've got the growlers, to now where you have cans in over 200 locations. How did that kind of evolve?
Sure. Well, so there's kind of two sides to our off sale, I'll call it off sale business. So there's our wholesale or distribution side, and then there's like our tap room off sale. So both of those have kind of grown and evolved for us. So on the wholesale distribution side, we started with only really having kegs to provide to accounts. So it would require a bar or restaurant to be able to have a tap line, a tap setup, and then hauling those around, because we self-distribute still and will plan to as long as we can. So that means we do it all ourselves. We make the sales and deliver and maintain our accounts ourselves with our sales team and distribution team. So we started with kegs. And it is a little hard to get a tap line in a place. You really have to be diligent, and you need people to go there once you get it and drink the beer. But we made a choice pretty early on to start canning our beer a little earlier than we were planning to, just because it really, like I said before, opens up a lot of windows and possibilities, opportunities for us. So we work with a mobile canner actually that comes in and cans our beer for us. Like one day we'll do 200 to 400 cases.
Right there,
200,
right there
200.
at
Yep.
Spiral.
Yep, in the
Cool.
back of they bring their mobile canning line in because we don't have the space or really
Yeah.
the money because we're so new to
Yeah.
buy our own line. So we work with the mobile canner. They come in and we do anywhere from 200 to 400 cases at a time,
Oh, wow.
and then
That's
they
neat.
roll back out and we have them. So that came late February 2019, and that really
Okay.
helped give our distribution sales a really big boost. So
Yeah.
we do a little bit of bottling ourselves as well when we have anniversary beers, but it's primarily kegs and cans that go out the back door for our distribution accounts.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So then,
fascinating. I had no idea.
yeah. Yeah. So then our tap room off sale has evolved as well. So we started with only being able to have growlers, which is those big amber jugs. They're
Yeah.
64 ounces of beer that you could get. And then, well, we'll get into this, but at the beginning of the pandemic, we made the decision to invest in a crowler seamer. So now we're able to sell crowlers as well, which is a big can of beer. So it's like a pint and a half of beer. It's a little more, it's more portable. It's a little easier for off sale because you don't always want to like bring a big jug of beer somewhere. You want to be able to throw some cans in like a bag or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has really expanded our options for our supporters.
Cool. Great. And it's interesting, just anecdotally, as I've been showing homes here in the Hastings area, I've seen a number of growlers out and about in people's homes,
Yeah.
just on display,
Right. So there's some weird little thing in the craft beer community where, because growlers were like the first form of off sale for craft beer, it's become a bit of like a display, like you said, where you collect growlers from different places
Oh, okay.
and then have them out, which is why we actually have quite a few growlers of other craft beer breweries all around the tap room because it's
Okay.
just kind of fun to support each other.
Neat. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the pandemic, and that's kind of the elephant in the middle of the room here.
Right. No kidding.
So everything's going great. You got, people coming in. And then, this thing
And then,
hit.
everyone shuts down. Yeah.
And so
Womp womp.
yeah, after you go, oh, darn, and everything is like, we're all stay at home, shelter in place sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done in response to that, maybe from the beginning to today?
As you said, we were right, like pretty much February, March of 2020. We felt a noticeable change at Spiral Brewery. We really felt like we were doing well, but the first few years of a business are hard. You have to work hard, and really try and get some new people in and work to spread your brand. And we felt like it was finally starting to change. And we were starting to see more and more new, fresh faces in the tap room, and we were getting more and more distribution accounts and liquor stores, and even liquor stores contacting us and saying, we've heard about you, people want your beer here. And so we felt like this momentum that was picking up. So we were literally having meetings in February and March talking about how we were really excited about where the company was going, including the launch of our new seltzer, which was one of the reasons why, I think, because we were able to get a completely different customer base with the seltzer, because not everyone loves craft beer, and that's okay. But it's nice to be able to have an option for someone. So we were feeling all of this momentum, and then boom, everything shut down. So to be very honest, it was really scary right away in the
Yeah.
beginning, being a new business and having everything shut down. At that point, the main percentage of our business was in the tap room because we were still working on growing off sale and growing our distribution. So it was quite scary. A ton of hard work and research went into just the legislation and different help that the government was offering. We were able to utilize the city's heart grant to purchase our crowler steamer. So that was one way we were able to pivot and provide another option for our customers to support us and get off sale from the tap room. Again, going back to Minnesota liquor laws, we're restricted in what we can sell off sale over the counter in the tap room to 2 different vessel sizes. So a growler, which is 64 ounces, and then a crowler, which is 750 milliliters. So that's the only 2 sizes that we can sell off sale. Okay. So which is why we thought it was important to get going with crowlers and have that be an option, being that it was our only form of revenue during the shutdown, at least on premise. We also worked extremely hard with the Downtown Business Association to work with the city to allow us to have our extended patio seating into the streets. They worked hard for us to get that to happen quickly. So from June until the beginning of November, we were able to have additional seating outdoors, which was instrumental in our summer business. People definitely felt more comfortable sitting outside, and when we were at 50% capacity throughout the whole heart of what is normally our busiest season, having those incremental seats outside was crucial. And what helped us get through the summer and as a business, we were able to utilize some of the CARES Act legislation to get a rooftop patio constructed. So again, that allowed us even more seating, and it's a small patio, but it's fun to have a rooftop in Hastings. We're the only one, the rooftop patio, and have a little bit more outdoor seating. We opened that, I think, mid-August. So we've had that since then. And even now with the governor opening outdoor seating, every once in a while we get someone that'll come and bring a blanket and bundle up and have a couple pints on the roof.
You've innovated, you've tried to do you've done some things more with distribution outside of Hastings. Has that increased? Are you doing more of that now?
That was another interesting thing to watch evolve, specifically from the very beginning shutdown. So in March, when everything shut down, liquor store sales rocketed. I think everyone kind of panicked because no one really knew what this was going to be like or what was going to happen or for how long. And so we had an insane couple, 2-3 weeks, month or 2 even, but specifically right away of liquor store sales. So our cans were flying off the shelves, which we appreciate. And again, another reason why we've been able to sustain through this pandemic is because again, we're not just a tap room in Hastings where you can drink a beer. We have this whole other distribution, manufacturing side, wholesale side. So that has been able to sustain us. But right away, there was a huge boost in sales, and we were able to get quite a few new accounts during that time and over the summer.
Great.
And we're still continuing to get a lot of new accounts. So that really helps sustain us. When just more recently, when we had another, I guess, pause, as they called it, or shutdown really for us, we didn't see as dramatic of a boost in our sales. I think people are kind of getting more comfortable with what it is and what they can do, and buying our off sale or being safe, going places and getting things. So, but we're able to continue that throughout.
Okay. They're not hoarding your product quite yet.
Right. Not yet, anyways.
Okay. We'd like to encourage that, but no.
Well, you can, I suppose.
Hopefully in 2021, as we talked a little bit earlier off camera, hopefully 2021 is people get their shots, people are back up and running, and we get back to normal, whatever that is. You said your busy season kind of in the warmer months. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Yeah. So, I mean, generally it is, especially where we're located and just being in Minnesota in general, but located in the downtown district, we see the most traffic and when it's warmer and people want to be outside. So, more of like an April, May to, I don't know, late fall, but we also have some good holiday traffic generally too.
Sure.
So, it's really just the January, February, even March that's the hardest for us, and I think most businesses, especially downtown, just because those are the main people we're talking to.
Restaurants.
And right, and even the retail, like retail places downtown and boutiques and things. A lot of times people talk about using that summer revenue to help cushion us through the hard winter. So I think that's what most businesses are a little nervous for right now, because we didn't have that boost in the summer, that usual boost. And if things are continued to be shut down, what is that going to look like for traffic? Seems to be some good signs from the government and the vaccines coming out that hopefully it won't be as long as we think it might be.
Tell me about seltzer and how that started, and and I'm admittedly very ignorant about it. When someone says seltzer, I'm thinking the old, like it's a bottle of seltzer that's kind of like club soda or whatever,
Sure, it is kind of that. I mean, it's like hard flavored bubbly water, essentially. I mean, it is still considered a malt beverage, which is why we can brew it, make it here.
Okay.
So we brew like a unflavored hard seltzer that we then flavor at the end. And so, which is why we're kind of, we generally, I would try to have 2 different flavors on, and then we kind of play around with different options. But it's really nice to have as an option in our tap room for, like I said before, those people that might not like craft beer, or maybe it's in the heat of summer and you just want like a nice refreshing beverage. With some bubbles and some fruity flavors. So it's really helped to expand our customer base.
Okay. When did you start offering that?
I think it was either January or February of this year that we started offering it.
Okay. And is it something that someone can come in and purchase and then take home?
It's only available at the tap room, but you can purchase it for off sale. So you can, like we talked about earlier, you can get either crowlers or growlers of it to bring it home.
Okay. I thought that was just beer, but no, that's seltzer also.
Yep.
Okay,
it's all of anything we have on tap you can get in a crowler or growler.
What are the questions that you get most often that you'd like to make sure people know the answers to?
For people to become aware of our distribution side, as like we talked about, I think especially in our community and the Hastings Happenings followers probably see us more as a tap room. But we have this whole other big and expanding distribution side, and that's one of the biggest ways for our company to succeed and grow is to grow on that side, so that we can bring more people in. So one thing we like to tell people, because a lot of people ask us, how can we support you? What can we do? Is like, if you have a local liquor store that you frequent and they don't carry your beer, you can ask them, hey, do you have Spiral beer? I love Spiral, because that always helps when we walk into a new liquor store and think, oh, we've heard about you. People have been asking about you. They're much more likely to take us on and try us out if they know about us. Or even once bars and restaurants are back up and running, that's another helpful thing. Like, oh, what do you have on tap for Spiral? Or you should really get Spiral on tap, because it truly helps support our sales team and get our name out there. So that would be one thing. And then I guess really the bigger picture, not just Spiral related, but is to continue to support local. Like I said, I can only really speak for the downtown businesses because those are the ones that I communicate with most frequently, but everyone's a little scared. Everyone's struggling. We're worried about what's coming with January and February. There's always a pretty big boost in December with holiday traffic and shopping, but continue to support local. Do your best to, figure out what you have in your town because, buying that like kids birthday gift at SC Toys versus, ordering from Amazon really could make a big difference to those local retail places, or making an effort to get, takeout maybe once a week or more often from places, because restaurants are really hard right now. Unlike us, they don't have that distribution or second side of the business to support them. So just be considerate about supporting local and helping these places out.
It's really an honor to have you guys here and to have a brewery in Hastings, and all of I see your cans everywhere and on tap, and it seems like people are really not just supporting you just to support you, but they actually like your beer too.
Yeah, that's our really hope good. Anyways, it seems like it. I mean, I'm partial, but I think it's really good too.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone wanted to find out more information, you're spiralbrewery.com, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And it's on the beer page where you can find the map of all of our accounts where you can find our beer.
Cool. Okay. And then as far as when you're open, what is the status right now if someone wanted to come in? We're recording this on December 29th.
Our indoor on-premise is shut down. So you cannot come sit at a table inside and have a beer. You can come here if you're willing to brave the elements. You can come while we're open. We do have a more limited hours just based on the season right now, but you can come when we're open and sit on the rooftop and have a beer, or you can purchase beer for off sale. So crowlers, growlers, or one of our many apparel or merch items, and then take them off. We do offer online ordering too. So if you feel more comfortable, you can go online and put an order together, and it'll be ready for you to either pick up when you get here, or we can run it out curbside if that's how you feel more comfortable. Other than that, you can come into the tap room and order off sale and go. We're just limited to the amount of people we can have in here at once.
Hours vary based on the season, based on kind of what's going on with the pandemic. Do you have the most updated hours either on Facebook or online on your website?
Yeah, both. So with the holidays not in mind, a general week we're open 3 to 7 Wednesday through Friday, and then noon to 7 Saturday and noon to 6 Sunday.
You guys are very good as far as posting things on Facebook when you have different hours, when you have a special coming out, when you have a new flavor or you have a new variety out there. You're very good about putting things on Facebook. We try to share them here on Hastings Happenings. So
yes, thank you for that support, because you do share a lot of our things.
Oh yeah, well, it's great photography. I don't know who the photographer is, but boy, it makes it look really good.
That is photographer Jen Fox, actually.
Okay. Well, again, Amy, thank you very much. Good luck to you and your co-owners there at Spiral Brewery in downtown. And what's your official address there?
Spiral Brewery is in historic downtown Hastings. Our address is 111 2nd Street East.
Amy, thanks again for coming on the show.
And thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, you too.